terrible. I'm totally unrehearsed at doing that song. I did the best that I can. Welcome to our first edition of Capes and Coffee and my first attempt at singing that theme song, which didn't work out at all.
Try it again.
That was terrible.
Try it again. Play us in.
There's so many of them. How did it go again?
That's the animated series.
And the Tim Burton one also.
Okay, I'm just retweeting us.
We're just retweeting. And I am Joe, and this is Luke, and this is Capes and Coffee under our umbrella corporation of Essential TV. And we're going to be talking about Batman vs. Superman, mostly the Ultimate Edition. We're going to say spoilers ahead. Not if you haven't seen Ultimate Edition yet, because there's not really much to spoil. But definitely spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, you need to see Batman.
But if you've already seen the movie, nothing we're going to say for Ultimate Edition is
we're going to be talking about the
It's more just going to clarify you thinking like, what the hell did I just see when you saw the regular one?
Right.
So how are we looking over there?
I think we're good. I think we are live.
And we're live, so chime in. Tell us what you guys thought of it, because I think, when did it come out? Like 2 weeks ago now?
Well, it's been out on streaming for a couple of weeks.
By the way, hey, what's up, man?
It's good to see you. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, we've been doing this Game of Thrones thing for so long, and this Game of Thrones was already over. And then, I tried to commit suicide like 10 times, but it didn't take.
I tried to pull Tommen.
Tommen did it way better. But we're not talking about Game of Thrones. We got like 3 years before we have to talk about that, because that's coming out later, so let's...
And then it'll be over.
We will be talking about Batman.
Tila Toy says, are you discussing the movie or the comic?
We will be talking about the story kind of in general, because I'd like to touch on the Dark Knight Returns animated movie, which I thought was superior in every way. We'll get to that. Right. But we're mostly talking about the movie and... mostly the Ultimate Edition, which just came out. It's a very squeaky chairs.
The core of this conversation is
haunted.
They could be haunted.
Chairs.
We'll get to Ghostbusters.
This
is going to be a Bat-tacular special edition, Ultimate Edition, and so we're going to be talking mostly about
that was a sarcastic
of Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
But we'll also talk about some other Batman-related stuff, including Suicide Squad.
Yes.
The Killing Joke.
Yes. Which is not out yet.
Not out yet.
There's just info about it.
Okay, so first things first. This comes out on Blu-ray and DVD tomorrow.
Oh.
Which is Tuesday.
So would they release it in...
And it's been available streaming on like Amazon and iTunes.
That's how I saw it, but it's going to be out...
It's going to be out on physical media.
Projector.
And this has like the extras and stuff.
Yeah. We liked it.
Mr. Motter's amazing film. So here's the thing, right? If you loved this movie in theaters, you're probably going to love the Ultimate Edition because it's just 30 extra minutes to love. If you hated this movie in theaters, you're probably going to hate it more because it's 30 minutes more to hate.
I almost just... These chairs are awesome.
What's different about it?
I would say what's different about it, I think that a lot of the reasons that I didn't hate the film, but I was just so confused by what was going on when I saw it, that because of not just the plot holes, but all that stuff, the Ultimate Edition just makes more sense.
Well, it gives you more time.
So a lot of the stuff that bothered me about it, which is like, what's going on? Is that a dream? Is that really happening? Like, what is happening? Wouldn't have happened when I saw it in the theater if I saw
the main difference is pacing.
That's what I'm saying.
Pacing.
So, like, pacing, but
you
is
have
one of the
time
main
to gather
reasons
your
I
thoughts.
didn't like the original
Right.
film.
The theatrical cut is just like you get thrown into the action.
Yeah.
You never have time to breathe. If you like the action, you like I walked out of the theater enjoying what I saw.
I was just confused. I was physically exhausted. I tried to not go in 3D, but all they had
is the 30 minutes before Wonder Woman showed up or after. It's kind of a mix.
It's not like one 30-minute scene. It's totally all...
It's like, here's an extra 2 minutes.
But the thing is, everything... None of it is really fluff. All of it should have been in there. This should have been their theatrical release. And they wouldn't have lost anyone. If anything, they would have made a little more money just because of the rated R, which it didn't really deserve in my opinion.
I don't necessarily agree.
They should have gone for broke.
Here's the problem. This movie feels really long. Like, really long.
And it was long.
I watched this in 3 sittings.
Even longer to me because it was so...
I thought the theatrical...
Oh, wait. Dude, totally forgot. But we have costumes.
Well, sort of. gotta show them what you're using.
Oh, I don't even. This thing's terrifying. Let's see. Does this come out? Dude, that works pretty well.
Do you need me to hold it?
Yeah, just hold that.
Okay.
That's pretty good. It's a little off center. Hold on, Luke's got something too. Oh, we're reversed. There we go. There we go.
They could have left out the first 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, pretty much. Or
he's always got a one-up.
Or Batman v Superman.
That's pretty good.
Man of Steel could have been a better lead-in.
You know what this gets me to think about? This is something that I always think about when it comes to DC and Marvel universes, because obviously it's going to come up in the conversation. DC, they really take their alter egos and their secret identities seriously. But in Marvel, like in Civil War, everyone knows who Iron Man is. Chris Evans doesn't wear anything. Scarlett Johansson is Scarlett Johansson.
Gal is awesome.
Everyone is everyone. Nobody in the Avengers really even wears a helmet or anything. They're just who they are. But in the DC universe,
they take it seriously.
They take that seriously.
Okay. So anyway, we will get to the
as serious as I take you.
First, I just wanted to point out. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this on. It's kind of tight on the bridge of my nose.
It's irritating to me right now.
I can't really breathe.
Out of like I'm jealous right now.
I can't really imagine fighting.
I want to try it on. Like I'm pissed.
But at least I can hear. I don't think Batman's hearing must not be great.
No. But it's funny because if Batman just doesn't shave, he becomes ninja. He's just all black.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he needs to do.
So anyway, just real quick on this. Batman v Superman is the second movie.
You trying to be serious with that on?
It's
not working.
In this new DC cinematic universe, following Man of Steel, which was Zack Snyder's first foray into.
It's almost the first movie in the DCU.
It's sort of because
Man of Steel does drop some Easter eggs.
But it's like Man of Steel they did because, I guess we need a Superman for the Justice League. I guess let's get it out of the way. And then Batman v Superman's like, we still have that Superman guy.
We got to get him.
Can we just get to Batman already?
And then let's literally just double-click on all the new characters.
Let's Wonder Woman. If we
Flash.
put enough characters in this, we'll just put Superman aside.
Yeah. Although I maintain that for what they've set up, for what Zack Snyder's done, I am excited about the future. I think after watching this director's cut, they were just so overly ambitious about getting all that out that...
Hold on, Mr. Motters, I think Bruce's mask is more comfortable due to the millions he spent.
Well, probably, yeah. I think
he also buys in bulk.
Even Ben Affleck's mask is probably not
so... And Tila Toy says, can't wait to see Superman resurrect, which is inevitable. You cannot have the Justice League without Superman.
Let me try that on. Because I mean, I do have this on. And who signed this? Can we give them a shout out?
So this was signed by David Mazouz, who plays Bruce Wayne on Gotham.
He's got a good bat symbol.
He's a nice kid. It was a joy meeting him. He was a gentleman, and he signed that.
Well, it's not comfortable.
It's tighter. I have a fatter head.
It's tight around the eyes.
It's tight right here.
You got a bigger brain. That's what
they don't care.
I'm digging it. You wear it like that. I think that looks cool.
So anyway, he signed it. He's a nice guy. Watch Gotham. I love Gotham.
Which I have yet to watch because I haven't entered the TV fray yet.
So anyway, real quick, Zack Snyder 101. He did Dawn of the Dead, the remake in 2004, which I loved, by the way.
Which was fantastic. I've never seen anything with Ving Rhames that I didn't like.
I have.
Really?
The sequel to that. It's a loose sequel.
Oh, I didn't know.
Zack Snyder. It was like...
Gotcha. I didn't see that.
Anyway. 300.
I thought it was one of the better action war movies of all time. I think that movie came out of nowhere to just blow everyone's
Britta says, I just love the taped-on Batman sign.
Oh, thank you. I made that myself.
See, his secret identity, he's not really a billionaire.
No. Well, he spent all his money on being Batman.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which, if you have billions of dollars, I mean... Good for you.
You think real estate in Gotham is worth less money than it is in Metropolis?
Yes.
The fact that they crammed those two cities.
It's like Newark in New York.
Ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
It's like Long Island City if it became what real estate.
It's like if you can take the subway from Metropolis to Gotham. They're too close.
It's ridiculous.
They're too close.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to all our New York City neighbors. We are in Midtown right now. I had to traverse through Times Square. Let me tell you this.
Hold on real quick. Mr. Motter says 300 made me question my sexuality.
Oh, yeah. I questioned my sexuality. Are you kidding me? And I've met Gerard Butler in real life, and I definitely questioned it.
Hodor!
We're not playing that game anymore. But I will.
We will still respond to it.
Yeah.
We will still respond to the Hodors.
Hold on, to my New York friends out there, just ridiculous in the city. So it's pouring out right now. I watched some truck-on-truck violence, like 2 trucks just
Collide.
hit each other, right? And I'm walking past like 43rd, the heat of the terrible New York City. Like it's pouring,
Humidity.
but it's still hot out. So it's not refreshing rain, it's just extra humidity. And literally, this guy got out of his truck with a box cutter, ready to cut a motherfucker. And my heart didn't even stop. I just kept walking. And I don't know if that makes me a terrible person or just a great New Yorker.
You know
I was
what-
like, oh, a stabbing? I don't have time for that.
You know what? Makes you not a hero.
I'm definitely not a yeah.
I would rip this from your chest.
No way. I should have put this on and just like jumped over and just gotten cut
I have this
myself.
covered, sir. Okay.
Just gotten stabbed myself. Anyway, shout
What
out to
does
New
your
York and
Batman
whatever.
mask say on it? Britta asks. It says,
Never stop saying Hodor. That's fine.
it says, thank you for your support. Something like that. David Mazouz.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne on Gotham.
And by the way, I am also excited for the Wonder Woman movie. I thought that she was fantastic in
Truck on truck action.
Truck
Sounds
on
like a
Truck.
Michael Bay movie.
It does. It does. I think.
It's Transformers.
What do you guys think about this? See, when I was watching the theatrical cut in the theaters, I was so bombarded by insanity that by the time Gal Gadot showed up as Wonder Woman, it was just this welcome relief.
It was.
And
It
I loved
was.
her.
Okay.
I loved the new music, but I can't tell if I loved her because it was just refreshing because
I
the
think
movie was
maybe.
so dull.
Poll.
Or was
Poll
she
of the
awesome?
audience. Poll
I
of
don't
the
know.
audience.
Maybe she's going to be awesome.
Was Wonder Woman the highlight of this movie for you? Because I heard a lot of people say that.
And she was for me, but was it a highlight because the movie for you was
Well,
so boring?
let me
that
answer
you-
yes or no. That takes a lot to type.
Right, that's true.
So, was Wonder Woman a highlight of this movie for you? Just a yes or a no?
Like, did she do anything
Britta says Wonder
standoutish?
Woman was 100% highlight. I think it might have been just like the pacing. She was a breath of fresh air. She was built up nicely.
Yeah.
Like,
And it came
her
at the end. We
story
were all
was
so
organic.
jaded by
So, yes,
just,
both.
dull colors. And, we finally got
was
her.
cool.
She had that cool guitar riff going on.
And walking out of the theater, the first
so
thought,
sexy, that
the
doesn't
first
hurt.
thought was, I'm excited for a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
And I've never been a Wonder Woman fan.
I never really
I
thought
never had
about
anything
her.
exactly. Like I never had anything against her, but I never really cared about Wonder
Yeah.
Woman. I was too young for the Linda Carter series.
I would imagine anyone watching us right now is too young for
Maybe.
that. That's some old school stuff.
Gal Gadot
That's
was
like the
perfect,
Vietnam generation.
feisty, intelligent, and kicks ass.
She was good.
She was great.
She was good. I
And
thought
whenever
her
she was
accent
cast-
was good for whatever her accent's supposed to be.
I think she's Israeli.
No, I'm saying from Amazonia.
No, I think it's Israeli.
She's from a different planet, though, right?
It's like a
the
different
planet of Israel.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly, and they are very close allies.
Yes.
Very,
Yes,
we
yes.
have a bond.
Exactly. That's
So,
why
yes.
Doomsday is
Love-
showing up
love
and
Linda
whatnot.
Carter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought Gal was good, and we'll
great.
see where it goes. I mean, we really have not.
We'll get to her.
Yeah, we'll get to her.
We'll talk more about her because she was awesome.
Oh, but back to Zack Snyder.
quick,
I
yeah.
thought
Watchmen, real
was
quick.
fantastic. My inner dialogue is Rorschach from the movie. My city's a dying horror, and they'll scream up and shout, "Save us!" And I'll whisper, "No." Like I say that to
That was
myself.
really good. Did you practice
like
that?
3 times a day? So yeah, I practice
you
it in
practice it.
real life though.
This is so hot.
Bugs get put down. Like I talk like that. I alter from him and then to Tom Hardy as Bane from The Dark Knight Rises.
And he sounds
and
like
one of you is the Trigger Man.
Sean Connery.
Exactly.
Sean
Exactly.
Connery.
And then I will allow you to die. And sometimes Tom Hardy
No,
from The
Mr.
Revenant.
Bond.
From The Revenant, Tom Hardy's also
He's
good.
pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
Back on track.
one issue that I will point out that is relevant for Watchmen for
The cast does look amazing,
It does.
like Chris Pine. I'm
excited.
sold on the cast.
I'm excited.
But,
Watchmen was awesome, great casting overall.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
great
Watchmen a lot.
ensemble flick,
It got
if you
mixed
will.
reviews, and here's
Did
my
it?
thing. It got mixed reviews. It was not a slam dunk. I think that when Zack Snyder is following the paint by numbers of the graphic novel, it is on point. Zack Snyder can paint by numbers from a one medium, especially a graphic novel, to the screen like no other. He's amazing.
Which is why
he's a visual
me
guy.
being the loud Jewish man is just going to chime in and talk over you right now.
Go ahead.
Which is why
I can't compete with
think
that.
if that he would have did a paint by numbers The Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller, he would have been the guy to knock it out of the
But
goddamn park.
he did as much as he could because that does not build the cinematic universe.
No, because it takes place
In
after
future.
the cinematic
ensemble,
universe.
$10 word.
Yeah, pretty good. That's
Pretty
some
good.
industry jargon for you, for sure.
And where can he write the check and send it?
We'll figure that out. We'll
DM you.
Or something. We'll DM you.
So anyway, but my issue with Watchmen, as much as I enjoyed it, it starts to fall apart towards the end when they start to diverge from the source material.
Right.
Not
see. I didn't read the comic, so I just enjoyed the movie.
But here's the thing. It really gets me. What they did, the changes they made to the story, I think...
By the way, I'm adjusting to you in the mask. Now when you take it off, I'm going to be weirded out.
You're be like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
He must be a billionaire playboy.
Yeah, which makes me Superman, because Superman doesn't wear a mask.
He needs some glasses.
Yeah.
So when they change the story, and I think they change it for the better in terms of it makes more sense.
Right.
Spoiler alert, in the graphic novel, there's a telepathic mutant squid.
And what's his role?
He's the Deus Ex machine.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so they make a change to the movie. It makes a lot more sense. I think from a story perspective, it's a good change, but it starts to fall apart because it's not a paint by numbers.
Right.
Agree. The finale was like two different movies. Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Well, since I didn't
Sucker Punch, I didn't see. I heard it was terrible.
Well, Matt Damon.
I'm gonna fix that in a second, but you have to take it over.
I'm totally okay with
that. I have to fix something.
Okay, Batman's gonna go Batman something, and I'm gonna just enjoy a picture of what is that, Matt Damon on a carpet for something, just being Matt Damon. All right. Well, I didn't watch this. I didn't read this comic, so I just enjoyed it in general. Sucker Punch, I tried to watch, and it was just I didn't really enjoy it. I can't tell you exactly why. It was a little too over the top, a little too corny for me, and I don't know. What did you think of it?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
Because I heard it was terrible.
I mean, I felt like it was terrible, and it didn't work. The characters were a little bit, I don't know. Is that Jenna Malone?
I think it is Jenna Malone.
Because she makes an appearance in Ultimate Edition, which we'll get to, which was something that was also hyped up. Everyone thought maybe she was going to be Robin or Batwoman or something like that.
Some sort of bat person.
And she was not.
It was totally
just
a minor role.
Extra detective or something.
She was an extra detective. It's good to have a spare.
So moving
to the next one.
To Man of Steel. Well, we kind of talked about that.
I just want to talk about how Man of Steel...
It's like going back and forth from that. I feel really powerful doing that. I enjoy it.
So, Man of Steel, here's my thing about Man of Steel.
We lost our Matt Damon.
It's
I was happier with the Matt Damon.
We'll have to read the comments on this.
That's fine.
So, here's my thing about Man of Steel. It's an okay movie. It's okay.
It's just okay.
It's just okay. And if you're using it as the foundation of your cinematic universe and you want to build like 20 more movies on top of it, it is a bad foundation. It is a cracked foundation. It's like if you look at Marvel, and I'm sorry, I don't want to get into a Marvel versus DC thing, which a lot of people do. You can like them both. You can like them both.
Right.
You can have your peanut butter and your chocolate together. It can be delicious.
Bread. That's why they invented bread for Marvel and
Reese's
DC.
peanut butter cup, but okay. So
until they make a good Spawn movie,
right.
and then everyone.
But the thing is, when Marvel started with Iron Man is a great movie.
Right.
It's a tight movie.
Keep in mind, there was this thing as a cinematic universe back then.
No.
There was what we call trilogies.
And the thing is, they built slowly and organically towards it.
Because they could.
Here's an Iron Man solo, here's a Thor, here's a Captain America. They come together in Avengers after Iron Man 2. Great. It's
They tried Iron Man 2 before they even tried other characters.
And DC has been so behind the ball
here. They just dove in.
They're like, do Man of Steel because we need Superman. Just do it. Just do it. Get it done quick. Zack Snyder's our guy. He did Watchmen. He's great. And so...
But again...
here. So I loved Man of Steel. As a Superman comic collector, it showed the vulnerability of a small boy. Listen, there's parts... I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not great. I'm saying it could have been better.
It's okay.
I'm saying that it's not strong enough to launch a universe.
It's so different than Superman Returns.
Yes.
Different, and it's weird because it's kind of like Superman Returns is more of the like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man. You know, like the nicer, happier, go-lucky. And Man of Steel was the complete opposite. Just, you know, everything exploding, killing thousands of people.
It was a little, eh. It was okay.
Yeah, it was like a little diluted.
But already your foundation for your cinematic universe has cracks.
But I think that the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition is a good, you know, can set it up. I think it's been set up. I like where they're going. I liked all that behind-the-scene Justice League stuff we're finding out. I think there is something there that they could really go into.
I really didn't like Superman Returns. Pick a decade. Well said. Superman Returns tried too hard to be the old Christopher Reeve Superman movie.
Yes.
Which was great.
It didn't work because
in
no one
theory.
wants to watch Superman flying around with Lois Lane anymore. We want to see him fucking shut up. That's what we want.
Well, that's what
I
Zack
think.
Snyder wants.
Well, you're married. You have to, coax your wife to
Now
come
listen,
to the theater
I think
with people.
that
I'm going solo.
This was a gritty movie, right? Because DC and Warner, the parent company, learned gritty works for Batman, so let's make Superman gritty, right? The problem is,
Or let's make DC gritty.
Let's
Marvel's
make DC
all,
gritty, yeah.
all happy-go-lucky.
but Marvel
Robert
can
Downey
go
Jr.
like
Said Tony Downey Jr.
Tony Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Tony Danza Jr.
Tony Danza Jr.
Tony Danza Jr. If you exist, please come on this show.
We'll
I don't even.
have you.
I just want to ask you.
We'll
who's the
pay
boss?
for your flight
Who
out.
is the boss?
No problem.
So anyway, you're assuming he lives somewhere else.
Right. Well, no, he probably lives in. This is New York
Probably.
City.
Tony Danza. If there is a Tony Danza Jr.,
He
you
lives
don't even have
there.
to be related to the
Just
real
walk
Tony
on
Danza.
over. He's probably on his block.
I just want to see a driver's license. It
Yeah.
says-
Yeah.
Anyway,
We'll find it.
So I'm just saying, Marvel gets like people say, oh, it's too happy-go-lucky. It's too.
To me, it's the perfect
too
amount
comic.
of happy-go-lucky.
Can't wait for Jason Momoa and Aquaman. I'm excited for that too.
Me too, but I can't.
I want to see gritty Aquaman.
I want to see Gritty
I wanna see
Aquaman,
Gritty Aquaman.
but and chime in if you agree
With,
me,
like,
but
a six-pack
I can't
ring stuck around his
get
neck?
over even
I'm gonna
when,
try to get this
when,
on the screen.
when they
Keep
showed
talking.
it. Fine, I'm going to rant for a second. Like, I didn't mind them laptopping the reveals. I didn't mind that, but like the Jason, I thought it was Momoa. It's Moa. It's just
Moma.
Carl Drago. It
Carl
looked
Drogo.
like he was holding his breath underwater, and I couldn't get past that. He's obviously holding his breath. You can see the bubbles. How are they going to make that work? Either it's going to have to be CGI. Like I don't know how they're going to make.
How's he
going
going to speak underwater?
I don't know. So I like
Momoa.
Momoa,
Thank you.
exactly. So like
Sterling
the
Ag
Flash,
Rose. Thank
Wonder
you.
Woman, Cyborg, I have much more confidence. And while Aquaman seems like it could be cool, like him, having the power of a goddamn tsunami and whatnot, like that seems really powerful. I'm into all that, but the holding the breath thing, I can't get over that. And if it looks like it's going to look in Batman vs Superman, it's just silly.
That scene was awkward. It was an
silly.
easy way of revealing other characters. I agree.
No, it was, but I don't mind
felt
that if
tacked
it was
in.
cool. It looked like he was holding his goddamn breath, which he was.
Mimosa.
Mimosa.
That's his new
exactly.
name.
Yeah, I'm
Khal
fine with
Drogo or Mimosa.
Yeah.
My thing was, he comes up, he swims up, blah, 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 and he looks in the camera and he's like, and then he goes back.
That was a great impression.
And he goes back, blah, 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 blah,
And then he what? He hits the camera
and then he's like, no, I've decided I want to kill this thing. And he gets his
and
trident.
he bails.
And he smashes it. It's like, it feels like it took 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It was so long.
Not only that, so
Hodor.
He's been there for. I mean, Aquaman is from Earth. He's from
He's from Atlantis.
But that's from Earth, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's an Earthly. He has. So are we going to assume that there's a whole race of Atlanteans living down there?
You need to brush up on your Aquaman. You need to learn about the Aquaman.
Gotcha, the Aquaman.
The Aquawoman.
And I assume Aquawoman as well.
Yes. And Aquafina.
All right, we'll find Aquafina. I have, that's for sure. So we'll find all.
You're
this
getting
out.
good reviews on the haircut.
But yeah, well, by the way, so another thing I was thinking, we both got haircuts. For Game of Thrones, it made sense to have long hair. There are no superheroes with long hair.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, but his
name's
no, but
Momoa.
the Aquaman in general has short hair. Most superheroes, and he hasn't had his movie yet, so he doesn't really.
In the
count.
90s, every superhero
All the
had long
Avengers
hair.
have short hair.
Superman had long hair in the 90s.
Batman, Superman have.
Iron Man-
that's right. No,
Iron-
no, like son of whatever the fuck had long hair. Or
Iron
something.
Man had a badass mullet in the 90s cartoon.
That's right. Well, Iron Man now is a young black woman with an afro.
That's true. Aqua
Yeah.
people. Thank you, brother.
Aqua people. That's right.
All right. Aquaman and the Aquaminions.
Yes.
Okay, what do you think about the cameo of the Flash? Thank you. Snaking Forever?
I liked that Ezra got a little, like a 1 second extra. Well, not him, but that showed the actual mask and then going up. So I think what's happening is there are many different versions of a costume, and when he's going that fast in time traveling, he has all these. You could actually see it the best in the what's it called? What's the video game? Heroes Unlimited?
Injustice?
Injustice, yeah, Heroes Unlimited or whatever. So look at
Heroes Unlimited.
Something Unlimited. Look up those cinematics.
1-800-HEROES?
And then you could really see how probably they're going to go with the armor. If he's going that fast, he needs like solar panels.
But the scene
on
where
him.
with how about the TV series The Flash? It's a different animal. It's
we're
a
a movie.
universe.
We're a movie talk
well,
show.
I like the TV series Flash, but there's room.
It's going to be
what
different.
What did Ezra say? It's the multiverse, baby.
It's the multiverse, exactly.
You got to put the baby on there.
You got to put it in.
Is it weak? No, the Flash TV series is fun. It's fun. It is the opposite of gritty. It has no place alongside this world.
Right. It's
It's
or
happy
does
fun.
Supergirl or
Supergirl's happy
Smallville
fun.
or Gotham?
Well,
Smallville's
Gotham's
not on
a different
anymore?
thing. No, Smallville's been done for like ever.
Weren't they going to pick a Superman for the new Supergirl TV?
They did.
And who's...
It's one of the guys from Teen Wolf.
Gotcha.
I forget his name.
All right, we're not talking TV though.
Oh yeah.
Getting serious, we're movie people.
But I liked Ezra's the security camera footage, where Ezra as Barry Allen as the Flash.
Yeah.
He's got the milk and he runs off. That was cool. That was my favorite reveal because I thought that just to round it out, because the other one is the cyborg reveal,
right?
And I thought that was super cheesy,
too over the top.
It was like it looked like a sci-fi channel.
Like, hey, here's my dead kid. Maybe if I put this alien technology, it will just kind of like the way Lex Luthor created Doomsday. Well, if I just put a body in the water, I'll get Doomsday.
No, and I need to bleed in it for no apparent
yeah,
reason.
if I put my Lex Luthor's DNA plus
touch of garlic,
Michael Shannon's DNA. After overwriting the computer
that
equals
should not
Doomsday.
have worked.
Like that just
didn't
make sense, and it was kind of like Cyborg. Like, hey, if we just put my son's dead carcass near the mother box, it's called the mother box, right?
Mother box.
Then I'll just get a new Cyborg or something.
Thank you, Amir. You're joining right as we're losing someone.
And I don't really know the story of Cyborg. I have.
I'm not a big Cyborg guy.
Oh, we're back to Matt Damon. We're gonna watch him. So be it. Am I wrong? Has Cyborg been around for a really long time, or are they milking it because Iron Man's such a success that DC needs a gears moving robot type thing?
So we're a little too old for this.
Right.
We're a little too old for. I'm a little too old for this. You're a little too old for this.
I don't know. Batman's like 80 years old.
But we're not Batman.
You could be Batman beyond Batman.
I wish.
That dude's like old.
He's young,
really
though.
old.
Well, that's Bruce Wayne.
No, I'm talking Batman.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Something about Game of Thrones or something.
I had a really important thought.
I was more talking about how for Batman to go into stealth mode, he just needs to grow a beard like you, and then he just disappears.
Please remind us what we were talking about.
Now, if he had a better, like the Middle Eastern beard that grows all the way up, then you'd be totally blacked out right now. You could just ninja.
I wish we had we need to put a code word in. Please, more Game of Thrones. Thank you.
Where in a better world. In a better world. Well, we'll move.
Let's move on. Okay, so I just want to point out that.
Why did you say that name? Martha.
Martha. Explain Martha. Tell me about Martha.
Apparently, two people can have the same name.
And why?
You didn't know that.
There needs to be a black Batman.
He would look cooler, that's for sure.
Sofa King. Thank you, Sofa King.
I'm down for a black Batman.
Listen, I'm open.
I was ready for Black James Bond. They messed. I think Tom Hiddleston's on his Taylor Swift.
I'm open, man.
Trying to get that, but I was all Idris Elba for James Bond.
I'm into Idris Elba for like any role.
Yeah,
like
I would have.
He could play George Washington in like a biopic.
We won't movie review it yet, but like if they would have made a black Tarzan, I would have been okay with that too. I'm down. If the movie's good, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
if the movie's bad, I'm not.
Listen, casting's got to be on point. But anyway, so the Martha thing, and I'm referring to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Oh yeah, Black Roland. There's a Black Roland in the Dark Tower series. That's Idris Elba.
Yes,
and I'm very excited for that.
Yes.
Anyway, so I'm referring to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice as Justice League Part -1, Martha's Revenge. Because obviously all they wanted to do was fast track us to Justice League.
Which they did,
with
whether we
the
like
Martha
it. That's
thing.
what I'm saying. Whether we like it or not, they brought us there, and there's plenty of room for only awesome movies for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't ruined anything.
But they fast-tracked it.
They fast-tracked it, but now that we're there, shit could still be
There's
cool.
plot holes, though. It's weak.
It is always going to
We'll
be
get there.
plot
We'll get there.
holes
We'll get
for
there.
sure.
So anyway, the Martha thing. Don't even get me started on the Martha thing. That was
Which the Ultimate Edition doesn't help out on.
no. One point on Martha. Can someone please go back and watch Man of Steel, because I don't want to, and
I'll do it for you.
Does,
for you, Luke, I'll
does
watch it.
Clark/Superman refer to his mother as Martha even one time? Even one time in Man of Steel?
No.
Because it seemed
Who calls
really,
their mom
really...
by their- I have
exactly.
not ever called my mom to her first name.
And so, but for Superman to be under Batman...
And I'm comparing myself to Superman. If I haven't done it, there's no way Superman's ever
he should have
done it.
said, like, my mother, like...
Or he should have just flown a little bit higher where Batman can't get to him and explained the situation.
Or he could have been like, by the way, before you
No.
kill me,
So
what's your
that-
mother's name? It
that
might be a
whole-
coincidence.
The Ultimate Edition doesn't help with those loopholes, which is A, if Batman actually wanted to kill Superman, just make kryptonite bullets and shoot those out of the gun.
That
Would have been really easy.
would've been easy.
Hey, so Batman lands, shoot him with the gun, hit him with the spear. Like, super
Okay.
easy.
Totally
and
fast-tracked
if Superman
it.
wanted to win, he could have just risen above and told him what was going on.
The only thing I'm excited about is Wonder Woman. I'm excited. You'll be excited for Suicide Squad.
I will get to. I am the most excited for the Flash in that how they show that power. That is a power, and that's why in Avengers I was a little pissed, like you said, that they killed off Quicksilver so quick, because everyone's power is the same, just super strong. Like Black Panther, Captain America, they're all Bucky. They're
Fast
all.
and
It's all
strong.
the same power.
Hey, it's a fast and
It's
strong
just a
guy.
fast-
Put him on
not
the
as
team.
not as strong as Superman, but they're stronger than a regular person. But the Flash is a whole new
The Flash
set
adds
of
some-
powers
and
that
cinematically
could look really cool.
and
So
Fox with the X-Men version of Quicksilver
yeah, so
has
from a
been doing
purely
cool things.
aesthetic view, and again, I'm a huge Ezra Miller fan, so I'm psyched to where they go with that. I think that could be really interesting. Aquaman could be really interesting too, but I literally, in my imagination, can't get past the holding your breath underwater. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They got hundreds of millions.
I just want to know
do it. But I have a pretty good imagination. I use my imagination for a living. And why am I looking at the microphone? I should be looking at,
they can't.
totally honed into the microphone, like having a Zen moment with the
microphone
microphone
can't
right
see
now.
you.
I can't really fathom how they're going to do the holding their breath thing. So I don't know. So I'm
gonna add one more layer onto Aquaman, and then we'll leave Aquaman.
Layer it
alone.
up.
Okay, he can talk to fish. Why can he also talk to whales and dolphins? They're not fish.
Oh, can he only talk to fish? He can't
He
talk
talks.
to what?
Historically, Aquaman basically talks to everything that's in the ocean. I guess he speaks a different
Does
language
he
for whales and
have?
dolphins.
Obviously, they have to.
We're losing everyone.
Are we?
Nobody wants to talk about Aquaman.
That's fine. Does he have like prehistoric animals? Does he have a megalodon?
No, because he's just Aquaman.
Well, I mean, he has Atlantis, which.
He's not living in Jurassic Park.
But he's living in a world where Atlantis lives.
Oh, maybe.
So who knows?
Maybe. Giant seahorses he rides.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so anyway, we already talked about Wonder Woman. She was awesome. So
Did
here,
it deserve the rated R? There was one F-bomb, which
Hey.
was totally unnecessary.
here are the differences. The differences in the Ultimate Edition. And the main one, it's rated R. I didn't see a difference.
No,
Doesn't have a megalodon.
there was. If he's got a megalodon, then Aquaman
Then I'm in.
for
I'm
president.
in.
Done. But I think that one fight scene at the end where Batman finally becomes Batman, it's, in my opinion, chime in if you agree or disagree, the greatest Batman cinematic ever
The one where he's
captured
in the
in
warehouse?
live action when he's on the
Where he-
warehouse.
where he's saving
is
Martha.
finally not. The Christian Bale was a great Bruce Wayne, but his Batman was a little too stock. Couldn't really move. Like, this was the Batman from the straight up Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Like, just so quick.
No, it was great.
I loved that.
It was
So
great.
yeah, did someone's brains exploded at one point, which made some sense. But like, obviously you could that didn't.
The theatrical
it was great
cut-
to see,
the
but you didn't
theatrical
need
cut
it.
was violent,
You
right?
didn't need it.
It's another
Most of the
extra
half
couple
hour
deaths.
of extra footage was not rated R and could have really served.
Here's my thing. I think maybe it was rated R because that makes it feel like it's very different.
Right.
And it's like, hey, Deadpool did really well rated R. Let's call this rated R.
Although, for the record, we found this out in the news that it was going to be rated R director's cut before Deadpool, but they had already knew that they had a hit on their hands and stuff like that.
So anyway.
But rated R, again, like,
I did not see the
Superman's
difference.
70 years old. Like, the people that watch Batman and Superman are the people that are under 18 are a very small minority of the people that watch these movies.
Yeah.
So I don't think the rated R alienates people.
I think if anything, they could have gone hard R in the theater.
Yeah.
And it would have been a better movie, maybe.
I think
because
so.
they were going so
Yeah.
violent anyway, you might as well just embrace it, right?
Yeah.
So 30 extra minutes spread throughout. A minute here, a minute there, a little bit of an extra dialogue.
But
Here's a
all
scene.
of it was important to me. All of it explained a little bit. I mean, a lot of the plot holes just get filled up, if you
So,
will.
real quick, Snakin' Forever, I think that's how you pronounce that, says that Superman...
By the way, normally we have your comments on the big screen, but now we
keeps
have
flaking
now
us.
it's a Full House
It's
screen.
San Francisco.
It's going in between Full House and Matt Damon, which we love
Everywhere
both.
you look.
But
says Superman's favorite character, but kryptonite was a bad idea. I think Superman needs his kryptonite because my problem with Superman is
there's nothing there.
he's too powerful.
But again, like, how did Lois Lane
But kryptonite's
know
kind of a lazy
to
way.
go get the spear because this was a Kryptonian monster? How did Batman know that it was a Kryptonian monster?
They could
Lazy storytelling.
Instead of 30 extra minutes, they could have had 33 extra minutes, and they could have explained that.
They didn't need. Did they need Lex Luthor at all? Not really.
Did they need Doomsday at all?
I mean,
Everything just feels really tacked on.
they did in at least the animated movie of The Dark Knight Returns. They do the whole thing without Lex Luthor, and it's much more
Well,
interesting.
it's a better story.
It's Superman struggling with more of whether he's an American or
It's
not.
a different story.
and it's a better story.
But Zack
Really,
Snyder-
you guys
We'll get
should
to that. We'll
watch
get to that.
yeah.
So 30 extra minutes. We see Jenna Malone's character,
Who's not Batwoman or
who's
anything.
not. Who's
That
not.
was-
She's like a scientist who will be important later,
Yeah.
probably. But the main two things it does, it gives a little bit more context into how Superman was framed for the
it
attack.
makes sense.
The attack that went
no
awry.
one understood.
And
It was-
Jimmy Olsen
I
got
did not
killed.
get it. I did not get it till I saw this Ultimate Edition.
We'll do Walking Dead when Walking Dead's on.
Yeah.
You need to watch Walking Dead.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
You're wearing a mask. I'll listen.
So they explain the Superman framing thing that ends in the explosion with the wheelchair
Yeah.
explosion. It made more sense.
It made more sense. It still didn't make sense that, like, he killed his right-hand woman. Like, why did he do that?
Like, why didn't he just say, hey, take a lunch break?
Yeah, like, that was his henchwoman. She was great.
He'll get another.
I'm just saying, like, he really, you know.
So, and then the other thing is it introduces a villain that ties into the Justice League, the big bad, which we will get to.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes more sense.
A little bit. He was still annoying to me.
If
I
you
don't
hated
know.
this version of
You're
Lex
still
Luthor,
going to hate him.
you're
Yeah,
still
if you
gonna hate
didn't
him.
like Jesse Eisenberg, you're not going to like
And you
him
know what?
regardless.
This is our Lex Luthor now.
But I will give him props for at least being original with the character. So be it.
I know.
And if they write him better dialogue, I'm not saying that his Lex Luthor is going to suck throughout. He was just annoying in this movie. But maybe he's going to be cool now that he's bald.
Sam Bull, I want that guy's beard. So thick and luscious.
Which guy's beard?
Which guy?
There's
There's
two
two beards.
thick and luscious
You have to be
beards going
specific.
on.
You have to be very specific
Yeah,
about
that's a
the
good
beards.
question.
Left. Who's on the left?
I'm not even sure about that. You take the beard, you have the mask.
You're on the left.
Am I? But over there, I'm on the middle or something. I don't know. Thank you. Let's just post say thank you. Cover our
I didn't
grounds.
like Lex Luthor either. Tila Toy says.
It didn't. Here's the thing about Lex Luthor. It didn't make sense to the characters that Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill were playing.
Here's the thing.
Like, so slapstick.
He's not
It just-
intimidating. He's not scary. Lex Luthor should be someone who you think is a genuine threat,
Tall and
that's
imposing.
3 steps ahead,
Yeah.
that can outthink Superman, right? Because he might not have Superman's strength, he might not be able to fly, he might not have heat vision, but he is super intelligent
And he's imposing.
and he's
He's
strategic.
physically imposing.
Not necessarily always.
In the cartoons, he is.
He's
In
sometimes
the animated series, I love
he
that.
often is.
Tall, the one that's willing to get into
But
a
I
mech
feel
suit and fight
it's
Superman.
the intellect. It's the
Yeah.
intellect. And I never felt like Jesse Eisenberg had an intimidating intellect. I thought that
And his reasoning was ridiculous.
he was like, he came across as like autistic. He came across as like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
As a supervillain.
on the spectrum.
Like, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like, he might be super intelligent, but he's not super intelligent in an intimidating way.
No.
He's intelligent or super intelligent in a really quirky, kind of annoying way.
Didn't seem like the type of intelligence.
Oh,
that could
how about
master
Lex
all this
Luthor
either.
in Smallville? I loved Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Oh, he campaigned for these roles hard. Poor guy. He's one wanted to be Lex Luthor for Superman
I-
Returns, for Man of Steel.
and when he
There's
left the
always an
series,
internet campaign.
when he left the series, I left the series because Lex Luthor was the best part of Smallville.
Yeah.
anyway. But I thought that was a great portrayal. And it's a CW TV portrayal, but it was an interpretation I could get behind, right?
I thought Kevin Spacey was okay.
He just didn't have much to work with.
Just didn't have much to work with, exactly.
Okay, so this is what we were just referring to moments ago. This is Steppenwolf,
which they released and then deleted 50 times before this.
We have to interrupt for this
out.
message from Carrie Rebecca Patterson saying, "I love you guys."
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Where are you reading these messages? Do I not see them? Oh, there. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, where the messages are.
Oh my God, right. It was like Mark Zuckerberg. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah. So this is something that I think most nerds like us already saw on the internet, but it made sense.
This is a really dark image, so let's explain. There's a big, monstrous-looking dude here.
And he's got like 3 of those
And Lex Luthor
computers.
is sitting down here. He's obviously updating his status on Facebook.
Yeah, and he's in this goo, like the plasma goo that's also
It's a goo bath.
Which, I'm okay. Like, I could see, human beings given 1,000,000 years of extra technology, like plasma goo being everything.
Like, you might as well, instead of like...
No, District 9, like, you said to stick your hands in the goo, and that's what moved things around. Like, I like that goo technology. Yeah, hashtag goo technology. I like that. I'm into that. So, like, I'm willing to suspend goo disbelief for that.
Greetings from Tunisia.
Hello.
Right back at you.
How are you?
I hear they shot Star Wars there.
Yes, that's right.
They shoot a lot of interesting things in Tunisia.
That's true.
So get us some props from the sets.
Get us some props, absolutely.
Find us some cantina leftovers, like
we'll
a mug.
We'll take it. But yeah, so this was the Steppenwolf. This is what, Darkseid's right-hand man, kind of?
Yeah. So this is like a general in Darkseid's armies.
Because I also think that...
We have a battle going on Periscope of Superman v. Batman.
Oh,
who's better?
Superman or Batman? I mean, obviously, Batman
wins
all awards always.
Superman is the most iconic superhero of all time.
Yes.
Batman is the coolest superhero of all time.
Superman's probably the most iconic person
comic
of all
book
time,
character
besides
Ronald
Jesus.
McDonald.
No, I think anyone that recognizes Ronald McDonald would recognize the Superman S and vice versa. They might be...
No one likes Gutek. He likes Gutek.
No one likes Gutek. I like Gutek.
Batman
in the future we'll have better skin. We'll have that...
Enough with the goo. Enough with the goo.
No, but remember that
Mark Zuckerberg,
stuff that you could put on shoes and the goo just comes right off? It never really worked.
How about shoe goo? If like the sole starts to come off your shoe...
Okay. Anyway, I think that they wanted to go Steppenwolf because they didn't want to waste Darkseid.
Okay, so Darkseid, we basically know Darkseid is going to be the big bad villain in Justice League.
No, this guy is.
Well, he's Darkseid's guy.
Right, but I don't think, first of all, you heard it here first. I'm campaigning for the love of God. It doesn't matter how shitty your Justice League script is going to be when you introduce Darkseid. Doesn't matter how bad your acting is, and I don't believe any of that's going to be the case.
All that
but
matters.
For the love of God, cast Javier Bardem as Darkseid because he'll be the greatest Darkseid. Him from No Country.
He's playing Frankenstein.
He would be such a good Darkseid.
I think it was confirmed
like,
that he's playing Frankenstein in the Universal Monster
cinematic
universe.
And they got a lot of big stars.
So hopefully.
But I'm telling you, he would be such a good Darkseid.
It's funny. We got one message on Periscope that's literally at the same time says Superman is the best. And on Facebook, we got a message saying, ugh, Superman is the worst.
Well, I'll tell you why Superman is the worst in this version of Superman, because why is he so damn upset? If I were Superman and I landed in, like, that trial, and everyone was all pissed off at me, I would fly up, like, 2 feet and be like, oh, you're pissed? I don't care. I don't have to care. Batman actually has to care because the cops are trying to foil his plan. What does Superman care whether people like him or not? He can either keep being Superman, just keep saving people. No one's going to stop you, or don't save people.
Because he was raised by Ma and Pa Kent.
So go hang out on a farm all goddamn long and hang out with grizzly bears because they can't hurt you. I mean, for the love of God, you're human-proof. You're bulletproof. Like, you have super endorphins. You're on ecstasy and MDMA at all times. Okay. You're always happy.
Why is everybody rooting for Batman? I don't get it. Because Batman's cool.
He's an easy, because he's a human being.
Because we've had so many interpretations of Batman over the years that have been good.
But I think he's also the reason that we love Iron Man, because he's a human being that uses his human brain.
People relate to Batman.
Yeah.
people have a harder time relating to Superman nowadays. I think people, like, Superman is the story of an immigrant.
Right.
Coming to this country and finding, like, you know, the American way, the American dream in some regards. And I feel like that story has changed since Superman's heyday. And now we look at the American dream and, like, what it's like to be an immigrant differently, and people don't relate to Superman like they used to.
Right.
But we still relate to Batman because Batman is someone who
Because Batman is...
He is darkness. He is the night. He is vengeance.
He's the kid in the handkerchief throwing the Molotov cocktail as well.
Yes.
He is the underdog.
Batman
He
is
the
more
resistance.
relatable. Thank you,
No matter
Fifi.
what your resistance is, he's your guy. He's that underdog.
The
hero.
Iron Man is the best. Iron Man.
Iron Man is
great.
also the. Here's a good question. I always wonder, like, Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne.
Who do you want to invest in your startup?
Who do you want behind you? And honestly, I don't know.
I say Batman because Batman.
Or verse, like,
because Batman. Tony Stark's reactive. Batman is proactive.
Okay.
Tony Stark
interesting.
waits till the shit hits the fan,
Right.
and then he Tony Starks his way out of it.
Right, Batman-
Batman is the one who makes the shit hit the fan.
Well,
Batman is the one who knocks.
Batman has the PTSD. I mean, something
Yes.
happened. Tony Stark became Iron Man because he had to save his own life. Batman just
Batman
freaked
started
out.
early.
Batman just couldn't afford a therapist. What was that? He couldn't afford the greatest therapists.
That's a good point.
Doesn't need Obamacare. Anything
Alfred
like that.
really
They really
failed
dropped
him.
the ball on
Alfred.
that. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Alfred, you could have gotten him some help early.
He could have been very well
Anyway,
adjusted.
so real quick, this character is introduced. Here are the mother boxes. The mother boxes are like the Infinity Stone, basically. If you're looking at the Marvel Universe and comparing them,
And he's like Ronin.
he's like Ronin, and Darkseid is like Thanos.
Is there
Sorry, just missed your message.
Is there Avengers 1 and 2?
Yes, Infinity
I
War
was
1 and
being
2.
sarcastic.
So anyway, but
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
but
right?
this one's gritty.
Right.
this
Which
one's
I'm
gritty.
fine with. There is room.
There's room. I want.
But again, Todd McFarlane's going to try and remake Spawn, and then there might not be room.
It's gonna.
I don't know.
Gonna grit.
We're going to see what happens.
Grittier. Okay. So anyway, that's in there. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you're watching this on Facebook, click the like because this is like our first test show.
Yeah.
To talk about comic book.
Yeah, and
stuff.
again, follow us on Facebook and whatnot because we've gotten a lot of likes because of our Game of Thrones things,
Yeah.
and it's more interactive that way, and it's
Yeah.
great talking to.
So we
all
want you to
people.
watch the next one and tell us how to get better.
Yes.
Tell us how to get better.
Or how to get worse. We're open to all suggestions. We
whatever
listen
you wanna
to both
see.
sides.
Whatever you wanna see.
Do you think I should be wearing the mask?
We read the comments. Maybe he should wear a Robin outfit.
No, come on. What is that all about?
Maybe he should wear an Alfred outfit.
There's only one cool Robin, and that's the little girl one from
She's pretty cool.
The Dark Knight Returns.
So anyway, there's Ezra as the Flash in a scene.
Am I too late? No.
Why does time travel appear in your dreams?
No, was it a dream? I don't know what it was.
Why would time
No,
travel
and
appear
that's
in your
another
dreams?
question that also is not explained.
It's like psychic
what,
time
what
travel.
happened? Did he dream? Was that a vision or a dream? It obviously was a vision.
Zack Snyder loves dream sequences because that's when he can
Because
do
it makes for good trailers.
Because he
you
loves
could show
music
cool shit in the
videos.
trailers of people bowing down to Superman, even though that never happens in the movie.
If they can explain why, like, first of all, there's time travel. Let's just accept that time travel will happen in this universe. But now we have to go an extra step and say, okay, you can time travel into people's dreams.
Although Batman's been time traveling since the Christopher Reeve, since the 70s.
When he flew around the Earth and took time,
Yeah.
which would have killed everyone on planet Earth, by the way.
Whatever, but he did it.
He did it.
He did it.
Okay. So, that was our Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition breakdown.
And now we're going to talk about the good one.
Now we're going to
The
talk about something
better
that was
one.
even better.
And by the way, would you? I'm going to
We
reiterate
have to
that
fast track
Batman
this.
vs
We've been
Superman,
long.
and again, Ultimate Edition. I'm going to throw it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give it lower than that. It was too. I don't think you should need 3.5 hours to get that point across. I think they should have added this half hour in and take an extra half hour out. I don't know why the funeral scene was 15 minutes long when you know Superman's not. They're not going to kill off $1 billion IPO. Like, we know that's not happening.
just wanna focus on
15
Batman for a
minutes
while.
long. Come on, ridiculous.
Here's my take. My take is, I did not think that this significantly improved the movie. I think it just takes a movie that's already too long and makes it longer. It makes it a little easier to digest certain parts of it, but I feel like if you were rewatching the movie, if you already saw the theatrical cut, you could watch the theatrical cut again, and you could probably figure things out without the extra 30 minutes.
You're right. You shouldn't have to. I think that was, again, my main concern when I came out of the theater was I was so confused.
I was confused too.
That a lot of the times, like, something would hit me, and I'd be so confused that I would miss the next 5 minutes.
I wanted to see it again when I walked out of the theater, not because it was such a great movie.
Just to see, like, what did I miss?
What I thought, did I miss something?
Yeah.
And I missed the 30 minutes. It helped. It makes sense. But I had to watch this 3-hour cut in 3 parts because it was painful.
Yeah.
It was painful for me to watch it. Too long, and this is where Zack Snyder fails, right? Everyone's giving him a hard time about he doesn't get Superman and he shouldn't go gritty and he's a bad director and whatever. I think that if he were a great director, and he's great at certain things, he's a very visual director, he makes it look awesome, but...
Well, he's the Tim Burton of our times, if you will.
Sort of.
There's no Tim Burton movie that doesn't look amazing.
Okay, so, but my thing is, if he were a great director, he could get the point across in 2 hours and 20 minutes with everything you need to know.
There's nothing wrong with a 3-hour movie.
As long as it doesn't feel super long.
The movie 300 was a short 90-minute to the point and whatnot, but again, that was written already. Watchmen was written already. Right.
And so that's the advantage.
Dark Knight Returns was written already.
So this is the classic Frank Miller graphic novel,
yes.
Dark Knight Returns,
which was turned into an amazing 2-part
from the mid-'80s
movie,
which is what brought Batman out of the Adam West era and the '70s cartoon era, and showed you can have a dark Batman.
Yeah.
And there's an animated adaptation. It's in 2 parts, I think.
And this also takes place.
Doesn't feel long.
This takes place in a time period where New York City was kind of like Gotham City. Times Square was not.
This
Disney
is a
World.
gritty '80s.
Now New York
Gotham.
City is more like Metropolis.
Right.
It's kind of Disney World. You know, it's Superman world.
And so this movie, The Dark Knight Returns, animated movie, is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it is a really faithful adaptation of the graphic novel.
Very faithful.
They cut a few things out. They streamlined some things. But you know what? Did not complain.
No, and it takes place, again, after the Justice League has already been disbanded.
It's like an alternate future that is set in the 80s because that was the time period it was written. So this is the Batman v Superman.
And the movie, the cinematic one that we're talking about, does, he does put on a mech suit and whatnot, because a lot of people saw that in the trailers. They're like, what do you mean? It's trying to be Iron Man and what? Like, no, that is really what this story is.
The Batman versus Superman fight.
The
in
ending
Batman
of the
Superman.
fight is very... Can we spoil it? Or should we not spoil it?
You shouldn't spoil it.
We won't spoil it. You should just watch it. But the ending is just better. It's just better.
The best parts of Batman v Superman, in my opinion, are what Zack Snyder lifted from this story.
Yeah.
And so if you want to see the best parts of Batman v Superman in a good story that you don't have to make any excuses for.
This is it.
And it doesn't have Wonder Woman, but it doesn't matter.
It references her because she left.
You could, but the problem is the reason they didn't just straight up adapt this movie, this story, the Dark Knight Returns story, is because it is an alternate universe where there is no room. It's a dark future where there's no room to build a cinematic universe.
Right, and also again, like it takes place.
This takes place post Justice League.
After they had already agreed to leave the planet and go into retirement and stuff like that.
So anyway, this is a great animated film. It doesn't feel like a cartoon.
It does not feel like a cartoon.
And you should also read the graphic novel.
Yes.
So that is a good use of your time. I don't even know what the runtime of this is.
But I don't know why. It's long enough that it required a 2-parter.
It's 2 parts, but it's like 2 parts of a story.
And in fact, I would say that you should watch both of them. The first half really is about him versus the mutants and coming out of retirement.
Batman coming back.
And the second part is about him, is about the government telling Superman to take out, and then Nixon is the president.
Reagan.
And it's just, Reagan is the president, and they're at war with Russia.
Unlike Watchmen, where it's Nixon.
Right, exactly. It's a little confusing. And like, it's just overall more interesting and rich and makes more sense to the world that we live in today, even though it takes place in like the 70s, 80s, or whatever.
It was written in 1986, I believe.
If you're curious for how it could have gone, not in book form,
I would like...
Pretty much if you're lazy and illiterate and you don't want to read anything and you just want to spend a couple of hours with this story...
If the world was not obsessed with cinematic universes and trying to make 20 movies, Zack Snyder would have made this and it would be great.
Yeah.
And Goku Super Saiyan says, I killed Superman.
That makes sense. And I think you should do a Pokemon Go live stream. I'm still not really sure what Pokemon Go is yet.
Well, that's
so
why you
I'm
need to do a live
still
stream.
Figuring that out.
Learning experience.
I'll get there.
Everyone can see how you suck at Pokemon Go.
Or maybe I'm hustling.
By the way,
Do
New
people
York
hustle? If you don't hustle, then I obviously
New York
don't know
City
what I'm
is
talking
the capital of
Is it?
Pokemon Go because there's like it's
so many people?
It relates to where you are, and there's so many points of interest in the
If
city.
more people are playing, are there more points of interest?
Sort of, not exactly, but if people are participating, it's better.
Interesting.
So everyone, if you can, book a trip to New York City.
Yes, I mean, you know what? Don't. It's hot and sweaty.
You know what? We have enough tourists.
Don't come to New York. Wait till October or something like that. That makes more sense.
Okay. So anyway, another Batman animated film
which is not out yet, but it's getting a lot of hype because it's also rated R.
Well known as the darkest Batman story ever told, Batman: The Killing Joke, is being adapted to an R-rated animated film. The Dark Knight Returns was PG-13, I believe.
Which it could have gotten R.
It could have gone R. It was pretty. It had some dark moments, but The Killing Joke is being adapted to a straight-up R-rated animated film, and it has to be true to the story.
Yeah.
And hello to our friends. Hello from Russia with love.
From New York with love.
Bonus points for the reference. You guys need to grow up and start talking about Goku.
Sorry. You're right.
We should.
It's not too late to abandon your children and your family. We can do this.
Talk about Goku.
We'll be like, listen, children, I love the child.
But Goku
I
needs
love
me.
you, but you're not an app.
No, Goku's
so I can't
anime.
deal with you right now. Like, you don't need Wi-Fi. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Anyway. Okay,
Send
so
your kid down the river.
anyway, real quick, this movie comes out in theaters. It's a Fathom event, special event.
I would imagine it'll end
I think
up,
it's like
it'll
2
end
days.
Up like on demand.
Well, basically. So it's in theaters, special Fathom events, in theater experience July 25th, which is next week, I believe.
Oh, and also don't expect like crazy 2016 animation. This is very likened
traditional.
to the traditional
This is
comic
traditional
book look
animation
and whatnot. But it's even less fluid than Batman the Animated Series. They really take it.
It's modern.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. They've taken some artistic
It's modern.
liberties.
It's modern classic animation.
yeah.
It's not CGI or anything,
Yeah.
but it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
This is from the movie.
Yeah.
So it's also
Which
on.
could easily be a still from the 90s animated series.
It's also on Blu-ray August 2nd. So I'm assuming that's the same date it hits streaming.
Probably.
So anyway, I want to see it in theaters.
Yes.
I'm going. If you go to fathomevents.com, you can find.
I have
a theater.
to pee too often, so I'll just try and watch it in my house.
And then speaking of being an evolution of Batman the Animated Series, Mark Hamill, a.k.a. Luke Skywalker, reprises his role as
Whose
the
best
Joker.
role ever is not Luke Skywalker, it's the Joker.
He's the
in
Joker.
the animated series.
And Kevin Conroy,
who is
the
Batman.
quintessential Batman.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we can fight about
And the quintessential
Ben
Bruce
Affleck.
Wayne. And the quintessential
exactly.
Bruce Wayne.
We can fight about Ben Affleck
Yeah.
or Christian Bale or Adam West or.
But Ben Affleck cheats with
or
his
Val
Batman
Kilmer.
voice. At least Christian Bale.
Val Kilmer.
Or Val Kilmer.
Give me some Val Kilmer
At
love.
least, not Christian Bale. Ben Affleck is the only one that actually physically changes his voice. Like everyone else just does it.
Christian Bale just talks like he's...
Exactly, which only got more and more over the top.
They'll never know who I am.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. Even I thought Ben Affleck's Batman voice sounded really cool.
Ben Affleck was
Do you
cooler.
bleed? You will. I say that to passing strangers. No, I don't. That's crazy.
Batman Begins,
I say it to
Christian Bale
myself.
voice was okay. I'm into it.
Yeah,
It
and you'll never
It got
have to.
progressively
It just
worse.
got more and
Got
more
so
ridiculous.
bad.
But Kevin Conroy, and there's some behind the scenes thing where he just goes to a darker point in his life and whatnot. It's interesting. So it's cool to have him back.
Oh, hold on. We got a heckler. The guy on the right looks like a child molester wearing that mask. Yes.
Which is funny because you can't see your face but a mask, so that just means
That's
that
why.
Batman to you looks like a child molester.
Yes.
If Batman grew a beard, he'd be a child. You know what? If Batman grew a beard, I might not let him.
Ben
baby-
Affleck
I would
had
not let
stubble.
Batman babysit my children anyway.
I like the bat stubble on Ben Affleck.
I might let Bruce Wayne babysit my children. That could be cool. Nah, he's all messed up.
No.
He's got parents issues and stuff. No way.
It's like
Batman
letting
is-
your kid sleep over with Michael Jackson.
I would not let Bruce Wayne
got
talk
lots of
to my
money,
kids.
but no.
No. Batman was raised
No.
He was not raised, but I'm saying, like, Alfred did not hook him up with the right therapy and whatnot. Like, got fucked up from. He's never recovered. Batman is the ultimate
It's hot in here.
PTSD.
It's hot in
and,
here.
Yeah.
Don't tell
Well,
me.
yeah, I had to work for Game of Thrones. That whole
I'm just gonna do this.
phrase helmet. That was very hot, and I did it.
I know.
You
I feel
did
your
it.
pain now. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's awesome about this is that Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy are
back. Yeah.
But they're back in an R-rated, very adult, animated Batman story.
Right.
Which, for those of us who grew up on Batman the Animated Series, it has grown up with us.
That has become the
This
quintessential Batman.
This
to
movie
me, is
grows
still
up with
Batman
us.
the Animated Series.
Exactly. I think it's the best telling of the story. And I have to tell you, we were just talking about the Dark Knight Returns cartoon, the animated movie, and as I was watching that, the one thing I didn't like, they weren't the right voices.
Right.
When I see an animated Batman and an
want it to
animated
be
Joker, I want Mark Hamill
right.
and Kevin Conroy. Nothing against the voice actors.
In
They were
fact,
good, but they weren't
the
right.
Joker in The Dark Knight Returns is a very different, and he's more of a, he kind of, for lack of a better word, he's kind of comes off as like a homosexual Joker. He's a very, not Joker flamboyant, like, he's like, kind of a gay Joker.
He's kind of a smooth criminal.
A little bit of a smooth. It's watch the movie. It's a very interesting take, and Conan's in it, right? Conan O'Brien.
Conan, but that's one of the changes because in the graphic novel, which was written in 1986, the late night talk show is obviously David Letterman.
Right.
And so
but they don't get Letterman.
They couldn't use his likeness,
right,
in the animated film, and
no, this they get Conan.
They changed the likeness so it doesn't look like David Letterman, and they get Conan's voice and Andy Richter as a sideman.
Right.
And it's obviously Conan's voice. And they refer to him as David.
Yeah. It all comes full circle, but really, I can't recommend it more.
So anyway,
and
very
we can't
excited.
recommend this yet because we haven't seen it, but it'll probably be cool. Which brings
Speaking
us to
of Jokers,
something that might really wipe the slate clean for DC in a good way and totally redeem them. We'll see. I don't know. The trailers look interesting.
August 5th. We are just getting into like Suicide Squad hype zone right now. And I want to say
I'm already annoyed by the amount of girls dressed up as Harley Quinn this coming Halloween.
Wait till Halloween.
Remember when it was Heath Ledger, Joker?
It's gonna be
Jared Leto, you're the Joker also? No, I'm Joker as the nurse from that scene. Be like, wow, that's so original. Like, please, I get it. It's a cool costume, but there are other costumes.
Like the Crow.
Like Slutty Nurse and Slutty Cat and Slutty Dog and Slutty this and Slutty that.
Smurf?
You know, you don't have to be Slutty Clown. There are others. So that I can go as Harley Quinn. That South Park episode where he doesn't want anyone going as the Crow.
Right.
We're going to try to dress up as a crow and look hard, get laid, and slim. That's a good episode.
The Joker is the new Crow. So anyway, the Joker is the new Joker, which was the new Crow.
And for the record, outside of like Killer Croc and Deadshot, I didn't really know who most of these people are. I didn't know who Cara Delevingne's character is, or really any of them. I knew Killer Croc. I knew Deadshot.
It's minor characters.
It's very minor.
Here's why I'm excited about this movie.
Here's the question: is the original Suicide Squad like the main baddies, like the fucking Penguin? You know, like animated series. You know, they all hang out together and they exchange Batman stories.
Different,
or they couldn't afford the rights to all.
It's like an all-star DC.
Imagine if DeVito was in this one. Oh my God,
Danny DeVito.
How awesome if DeVito was in this one.
Why did
great.
Suicide Squad 2,
especially after Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Now that like him as Franklin.
Hashtag Danny
With
DeVito,
the same
Suicide
troll
Squad
nose.
2. Yeah.
I think that's the same joke. Whatever. That would have been great.
So anyway, why I'm excited about this, besides everything I've seen, because the trailers look awesome. They've got great soundtracks. I love the one with the Queen soundtrack. But the most exciting thing about this conceptually to me is that this is a DC Universe movie that basically gets to be its own movie. It is not stuck trying to build towards Justice League.
Yeah, it's already built.
And yes, Batman is in this. We'll get to that. And it builds towards a Batman movie. But honestly, DC movies don't need to build towards Batman because Batman is Batman.
He's Batman.
You don't need to build towards anything.
Like you don't need another Batman origin story.
No.
You know?
We got that.
We didn't even need the 5 minutes of that at the beginning of
this gets to be its own movie, and I'm very excited about that. And in the world of cinematic universes, even in Marvel,
this is a weird one.
This
is weird.
Marvel
doesn't have this. Marvel doesn't have good villains, but like they have
one. Thor.
Unless Loki.
The Netflix series, they have great villains.
Loki is more like Magneto. He always comes around, or like you don't really know.
That's because,
is Magneto good or bad? In every movie,
he's both.
I'd give up on him eventually. I'd be like, listen, Michael Fassbender,
get off the fence.
You're too flip-flopper. You're a goddamn politician. But I'm psyched also because I don't think Will Smith has ever been in an ensemble movie before.
Unless you count Independence Day.
But that's not ensemble. He's the star.
Goldblum.
They're the stars.
This was peak Goldblum. This was
There's
1996.
7 other people in that movie.
He had to. Okay.
I'm just saying, this is an ensemble movie. Now, will it focus more around his character? Of course. Him and Margot Robbie are going to be the show.
And that's what makes me worried.
Which I'm fine with.
That's what makes me worried
Margot
about
Robbie is A+ for everything she does.
From everything I've seen about this movie, Deadshot, Will Smith's character looks like the least interesting part. So far,
We'll
and
see.
I could be
Maybe
wrong.
he'll bring his classic, cannot falter Will Smith charisma, which always...
And I would never bet against him, except in Wild Wild West. But
right.
But we'll see. I feel
that
like
was a bet a lot of people lost
and
on.
we'll see about Jared Leto, because
Yeah.
a lot of people freaked out about it's Heath Ledger's role. How can anyone else play the part? But if you recall,
I don't even see him in the trailers a lot. Like, I honestly, I don't want to say I don't care, but I
like Jared Leto.
Yeah,
He's a great actor. Give him a chance.
It doesn't seem to be about the Joker. I don't know. We'll see.
He's an extra.
Yeah.
Even if you look in the poster,
He's not even in it. He's not one of the Suicide
He's not one of the
Squads.
Suicides. He's up there.
Yeah, he might have as much screen time as Batman.
He could be just a big cameo. I don't know.
But I would do we have one interesting thing about Batman is that since this is a movie that takes place from the villain's perspective, Batman
He's a villain.
essentially is the villain. So you're going to finally get to see, hopefully, how scary Batman really is. Like, if you're a villain and there's this demon in the shadows...
He's never scarier than when he's on a pink sports car.
Exactly, riding around New York City. So, they can only CGI capes now.
That is
Imagine trying
He
to
doesn't
get-
have a cape because
No,
it's
of course
CGI.
not. Of course not.
He has little red dots
I
to show
think
where the
that's
cape's
something
attached.
that's never really been shown before. So that could be. I mean, they've shown it, but not purely from the bad guy's perspective.
So
that could be interesting.
This is a shot from. This is like a set photo
Yeah.
of Batman riding on the Joker mobile. Of course, they call it the Joker mobile. I'm assuming, and we don't know how big of a role Batman has in this movie, but we know Batman's in the movie.
They show him a lot in the trailer, obviously to get people in the seats, but that might all be from one flashback scene. We don't know.
I don't think they need much Batman in this.
No.
I think it.
But I like that he's in it.
stand
I
alone.
like that that
because.
They reference Superman in the trailers and whatnot. The joke being, they're like, whoa, what if... First of all, it doesn't make sense. They're like, what if Superman came down and rip off the White House? It's like, oh, well, you already killed Superman. What are you talking about? To you, he's dead.
Right.
You don't know that he's back to life. And two, none of these motherfuckers that you're showing right now can do anything against Superman. They have guns. What are they going to do? Yeah, if Superman comes down, the Joker's not going to stop Superman.
No, all they can do is they can go into a Kryptonian crash and they can cut their hand inexplicably and they can bleed into Zod.
Right, and exactly. They'll just become Doomsday and whatnot.
Whatever.
Which, again, what was Jesse Eisenberg planning on doing with Doomsday? Had Superman won or had Batman won?
Why not just clone Zod? You got one chance, dude. You got one chance.
Why did you need Doomsday?
Why did you need to cut your hand and bleed into the Doomsday soup?
Or you could have just hid Martha in lead and be like, Superman, you work for me now. I promise to keep her alive.
Or literally
so you
kidnap
work for
anyone
me.
whose name was not Martha.
Or get rid of Batman to begin with and just kill Martha to begin with at the beginning of the story.
Or just adapt The Dark Knight Returns.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so speaking
Oh, I haven't
speaking
even
of Batman,
seen this. Jesus, what did you do here?
So I
you
didn't.
put these
I
together,
know.
or did
I
you
found
find
this.
them?
I wanted to talk about the upcoming DC movies, and
Hold on, I have to be an audience member for a
I
second.
googled the slate of "Hi Babies," says Menbro. Hello.
Oh, wait, Nightwing's not even there yet. Okay,
Look.
cool.
I googled the DC.
Oh my God, Batman vs. Shazam. That's
Hold on.
The Rock,
Let me
right?
explain to them. Let me
Oh,
explain
sorry.
to them. He plays Black Adam.
Black Adam.
He's in the movie. I DC'd. I googled the DC Comics slate of movies, upcoming movies, and someone had put together this slate of Batman v Superman, Batman v Wonder Woman, Batman v Aquaman, Batman v Shazam, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg.
You know that Shazam and the Flash are going to have a little conference talk
about the lightning bolt?
logo
That's
infringement.
my lightning bolt.
Who owns the emoji?
That's a good question. So.
I'm assuming the Flash.
It's
but if
funny
Shazam-
because
we're talking the Rock here.
DC and Warner Brothers, they know this is the house that Batman built.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because Superman is
as is Marvel is the house that Iron Man built.
But Iron Man was nobody when they started it.
Right. Again,
And by the
they got
strength,
lucky. They
the
didn't have
strength-
nothing building on it.
From the strength of the first Iron Man movie,
Right.
they built a cinematic universe.
Right.
From the strength of Man of Steel, they built Batman v Superman using the strength
They're
of
just doing
Batman.
it. They're just doing it.
To launch a cinematic universe.
But they might,
So
again,
anyway.
I reiterate, they might get awesome movies because of it. We don't know.
Listen, I love Batman more
They
than the
plowed
average
us through the
person.
bullshit, not in the great way, but they got us through there. We're on the other side. Now we could have standalone films. We could have some Justice League films. We could have...
But I just think it's funny because, honestly, DC is leaning on Batman so hard.
And they're going to do a full Green Lantern Corps movie also, which...
We'll complain about that.
knows?
This is the real slate.
Oh, this is when it comes
So
out.
we saw Batman v Superman next to Suicide Squad on August 5th, very soon. And then we go into Wonder Woman next year, June 23rd, 2017. These dates might have changed a little bit. Justice League Part 1
Depending on what Marvel releases that weekend.
fall 2017. And then The Flash is March 2018.
And then we're already in years that we don't even
We're up to
know.
2020.
Jesus,
It
I'll
takes
be like 57.
It takes until the year 2020.
I don't know if I'll be alive for Green Lantern Corps, and I'm okay with that.
Because I don't care.
I'd like to be alive
For The Flash and
through
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
I'd like
and
to
then
see Shazam.
past that,
But I can
might be a different
You're going to need to see
person.
part 2 of Justice League, though.
I'll hopefully have like a cool Silver Fox thing going on. Hopefully I'll have gray hair by Green Lantern Corps.
So the thing is, it takes until the year 2020
Will
for
Game
us
of
to
Thrones
forget.
be over by 2020?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will take that
Oh,
long
that's
for us to forget how bad the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie was.
Yes.
That's how long it takes to reboot.
I don't think we'll ever forget that. Well, anyways, that's our show.
Well, I'm going to talk about some other things you,
Oh, okay.
you may have missed.
Oh, and P.S. This again, like we said, this is our first.
We're testing
show
this
that we've
out.
done. We're testing this out. Thanks for watching Capes and Coffee, where we just talk about. It won't always be as specific an episode as this one was about Batman. It might just be movie reviews in general, and pretty much all things that are imagination based or just rant based, like my New York
I think
rant.
basically anything that would be at home at Comic-Con.
Yes,
Right?
we'll be
Anything there is a
talking about.
hardcore fandom for,
Yeah,
we'll talk
and
about.
again, if you can find us on Facebook and whatnot, so just send us suggestions, anything that you want us reviewed, you talk about. Neither of us have lives. We've seen all the movies that you might want to talk about. You
Twice.
might not want to talk about twice, so we can talk about.
speaking
them.
of that-
and Luke made this really cool logo. I'm the actual career artist
Oh, it's
of this show.
I don't like the
loved
fight.
it.
I don't like the font. I want to change that, but it was like
I
a
think
quick
it's cool. I like it. Did you Photoshop that out?
Google.
You nailed it. So this is already someone's something. All right. So if we get sued, that's extra press. We'll take it.
Extra press.
We'll take it.
Okay, so real quick, in case you missed it, you need to watch
It was probably the best.
the best thing I saw all week.
I sent it to my father. I think I told you the story. My dad at once was like, I was telling him, he's like, oh, I'll watch Game of Thrones with you. Could you bring me up to speed in like 10 minutes? And I left, and I was like, it's just not possible. So I sent
know
him
nothing,
this.
Dad.
So I sent him this. He didn't watch it because he's got a life unlike me. So, but like,
So if you missed it, shame on you.
it's very good.
Game of Thrones released a video. It's officially from the Game of Thrones
It is an
channel
HBO
to
endorsed.
promote the iTunes release of the seasons, right? But if you go on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ESNTLTV for Essential TV, ESNTLTV,
Plug.
You will see this. We posted it. It was amazing. It's basically just Sam Jackson recapping and bringing people up to speed on the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones.
6 of them.
No, he hints. They don't get into the story in 6.
You want to see dragons, motherfucker?
But they show the
my
tease
best
6,
cameo.
which is what just wrapped. You have to see this. Whether if you've seen Game of Thrones,
Or
you
not.
have to see this. If you've
It's
never
the
seen
best-
Game of Thrones, you have to see
You
this.
should watch it.
Everyone needs to see
Here's
it.
a random question that occurred to me because I'm assuming Samuel Jackson is a Game of Thrones fan.
He should.
And I'm assuming there are a lot of major goddamn actors that are Game of Thrones fans. So, do you think fucking George Clooney could call up Game of Thrones and be like, I'd love to play a 1-episode arc?
He called up South Park and said he wanted to
And
do
they
a
made
voice,
him
and
the
they
dog.
made him the
But do
gay
you
dog
think,
in the first season episode.
Or do all, everyone wants to be on Game of Thrones for an episode. or something
Coldplay
like
got
that.
in.
Did they?
Yeah, they play. One of the guys from Coldplay is playing in the Red Wedding episode.
Really? I didn't know
think he's
that.
the guy in the
oh,
drums.
and speaking of, remember we were talking about 2 weeks ago, Sir Ilan Payne? Sir Ilan Payne's pretty kind of a rock star. He's like a country, he's like or Scottish or English, rockabilly blues guitar player, and he's got a following, and it's hilarious. He does like a guitar tutorial and stuff. Just YouTube the actor's name. He's a real musician.
All right. right?
Yeah, anyway.
We need to
moving
do
on.
another Game of
Yeah.
Thrones talk, obviously.
We just need more Game of Thrones episodes. Anyway, moving on. What do we got?
Real quick, this just is like, speaking of crossovers, this is Kurt Russell v. Kurt Russell. It is Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China v. Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Ooh, that's a good
They're
one.
both John Carpenter movies starring Kurt Russell, and this is a comic book crossover.
Snake Plissken's usually my go-to Halloween costume. Oh, now I have short hair now anymore, so I can't. I'll evolve my whole Halloween costume around short hair now.
See,
how do you even think about that?
If you're gonna go as like if there's two, if you and a
friends
buddy,
gotta get married, so I
you
gotta
and a
get my
buddy,
haircut.
you and a buddy want to go in Halloween themed costumes, you cannot go wrong with Kurt Russell as a theme.
No, I gotta do a short
In fact, you know
haircut
what?
now.
I did that one year. A bunch of
You
my
were both?
friends, no, a bunch of my friends when I was in college, I think. We decided, there were like 5 of us, we were all going to be a theme for Halloween, and we were all going to be Kurt Russell characters.
That's a good theme.
And
I like
someone was Snake Plissken. I don't know if somebody was Jack Burton, but I was Kurt Russell as Elvis in True Romance.
Very good. I would go Kurt Russell as Soldier, because I got the short hair now. I'll just tattoo my face and I won't talk at all. I don't know if you guys seen Soldier. Maybe recommend it? I liked it.
So we got a
liked
Batman v Superman. Sounds good to me from someone named Batman.
We'll take it.
Because you know you win.
So what else do we
So,
got? Oh, shit.
Comic-Con is this.
coming up.
It's starting this week.
Wow.
So,
we're not going to be there because we're in New York and
We'll be at New York
it's
Comic-Con.
too humid for planes to fly.
Pretty sure they keep them grounded.
They keep them grounded.
The tarmac melts.
Exactly.
So Comic-Con is happening this week. There's going to be tons of updates. Follow us.
There'll be a lot of
on
trailers,
Twitter and
that's
Facebook.
for sure.
Walking Dead fans, I'm talking to you. There's going to be big announcements on the 22nd. They're going to show the trailer for Season 7, which won't show you anything because of that cliffhanger. Spoiler alert.
I'm hoping we get our first Kong Skull Island. We finally got our first shot because I'm curious as to why King Kong's now 50 feet taller than he was.
Because they want to do
no, I
King
get
Kong
it, but
v.
I'm just saying
Godzilla.
I'm wondering how they...
Everything
push
is
that into
V
the story.
something nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, cinematic universe.
Cinematic Universe, King Kong, Godzilla.
I don't have a problem with that as long
Gotta
as the
scale
movies
them
are
up.
good. I don't mind.
Star Trek Beyond comes out this week. Reviews
Got
have been
great
good.
reviews,
have
but
been
like
good.
you were saying, Ghostbusters got reviews.
I'll get to that
okay,
next.
Okay, I haven't seen it
The
yet.
first trailer for Star Trek Beyond is one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my life.
I don't even remember it.
It was terrible. I have nightmares about it. The newer trailers look much better. The reviews have been good for Star Trek Beyond. I'm cautiously optimistic. Now,
Idris Elba's in it?
yes, he's the
Sold.
villain, and the director is Justin Lin, who's well known for Fast and Furious movies,
Right.
and a lot of people were like, for Star Trek, I don't want Fast and Furious in space, to which I say,
Who would say I don't want Fast
Listen.
and Furious in space? Well, I want to meet that person
Well,
and be like, I don't want to be your friend.
well, hardcore Star Trek people don't want it to be all action.
Sorry, I'm not into ice cream. Oh my God, you're a monster. I don't really like ice cream that much.
Here's
but
my
you know
thing.
What I'm saying.
Justin Lin, I like the Fast and Furious movies. They're different than Star
I
Trek.
tuned out like
But
3
he
movies
has
ago.
the skills to create a story with an ensemble cast, a lot of characters. That's what Star Trek needs because there are a lot of characters. So
And
I
hope
have
it's
I
good
have
because
faith.
the late Anton
Yelchin.
Yelchin is 2. Apparently, the Green Room was amazing.
I wanted to see it. It wasn't in any
that's what I'm
theater near me.
saying. Like, unless you bootleg that, which is now online, I kind of want to see it in theaters though because I heard it's really good.
I looked for it.
So
I tried.
He's
The Green
the
Room was
star
his
in
last
that.
movie that came out before this. Anton
And
Yelchin.
so if this movie's good, I mean, if I were an actor and I were to pass away, I would like my last
go out on a
movies
high
to
note?
go out on a high note. That's all I'm saying.
So speaking of reviews, mixed reviews.
Go off.
Listen, I saw this.
I haven't seen it.
I was not a
And I
hater.
probably won't because
I was not a hater. I was not one of those guys who's like, oh, it's an all-female cast. Oh, how dare they remake Ghostbusters? No. Listen, I love Ghostbusters as much as the next guy or more.
Luke
but I have an open mind.
dressed up as Melissa McCarthy for the opening. You were so excited, right?
This is our outfits.
Yeah.
We're gonna dress up as
This is actually Luke and his family outside of
cross-dress.
the premiere. Their costumes were so on point.
and our Cadillac.
Yeah.
So I was not a hater going into it, honestly. I was hoping it was
Are you
good.
a hater in general?
No.
Well, that needs to be
It's like,
said.
it's like Star Trek.
I don't think you are, but you should.
Justin Lin.
You should let people know that.
I have a wait and see kind of
A healthier
yeah.
attitude.
And I was open to this, and I read the first reviews, the critical reviews, and they said good things. So I went. It was terrible. I didn't like it. People in the theater did laugh. There were people that were laughing. I didn't find it funny.
What did you think? The people that watched it with you, you think they liked it? What was the atmosphere? Because I remember walking out of Batman vs Superman, and first of all, everyone was all 3D and shit, and people were complaining.
People were complaining
during the funeral scene. So like, and I saw it on opening weekend because I'm like that.
I experienced that too. Honestly,
you don't get that when you watch something on your computer.
Honestly, people clapped at the end of this.
They did.
They clapped. I don't get it. I don't get it because I did not think it was a good movie. That's it. Not because of the cast. Not because it was a reboot.
I'm going to watch it, but
Just
I'm
didn't enjoy
probably going to bootleg it because honestly, this is New York City. Movies are really expensive.
And that's the thing. I felt like it
for
wasn't
a movie that Luke's telling me isn't that good.
Felt like
I got to
it wasn't worth my money.
I got to pay for my date.
I got
That's
popcorn.
Like $300 off Craigslist. We're talking $350 after the.
I got popcorn. I got a
drink and the drink and the popcorn. That's
if I would have been invited to a free screening,
a prostitute popcorn drink special.
If I would have gone to a free screening and not bought concessions, I would have been okay with it. But I spent money on it, and I was very disappointed.
Right. So like us on Facebook so we can get into the free screenings. Trying to get those free prostitutes. What's up, man? Come on. Not Luke, because he's married, but like, I'm not. I can do it all.
More for him.
Yeah.
Essential.tv is the website. Twitter.com/essential_TV.
Don't forget that underscore.
Someone took Essential TV without the underscore.
That's okay. We'll murder them in there.
Facebook.com/ESNTLTV because somebody took the Essential TV and the Essential_TV.
And the top line of the keyboard. We're not into that.
Unlike Zack Snyder, we streamlined things.
We streamlined it and cut the fat off.
So thank you very much, everyone.
And thank you to the anonymous person that made our logo for us.
We'll credit you next week.
We'll find out who it is.
It's a temporary logo.
We'll find out.
Unless next week it's not temporary.
Yeah. So tune in next week. I assume we'll be doing
something the same bat time and same bat channel.
Bat time, bat channel, and whatnot, and just
it's a work in progress.
We'll keep you guys posted, and just a little bit of a recap. I thought The Shallows was pretty cool. I thought Tarzan was could have been cooler. Did I see anything else? Warcraft was cooler than people said it was, but not cool enough.
Not a good movie.
And
it was cool.
It
was like Batman v Superman.
I love Ninja Turtles, but I liked the first one too. And that's all I've seen. And that's our show.
And you're going to vote for Donald Trump.
And of course I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, obviously, with his new running mate, Mike Pence, who literally looks like the bad guy from any James Bond villain. You couldn't cast a better behind-the-scenes supervillain. And, like, I don't even know that guy's
Dick Cheney.
No, because Dick Cheney is, like, older and fatter. He's not, like, this guy looks like the bad guy in his prime. Like, he's and I know a little bit about his politics, and they're repulsive to a New York liberal like me, but that's not what our show's about.
I was just about to say, my question for Donald Trump is about his New York values.
Right, and we're down with New York values, so anyway, that's our show.
Yeah, and the New York values on rent, according to your landlord.
That's our show on our New York values, and we love New York, and we love all the people that are watching us, so stick around. And again, if you follow us on Facebook, we'll keep you posted on when the next show comes up and stuff like that. And that is our show. So I could un-Batman out, so no one...
You gotta do the song.
Mistake.
Oh, and until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Reach for the stars. Wait, which... It's not a long song. It's tough to do. I don't know how the whole song goes. I promise, guys. I will.